Very well. It now being 7 o'clock, I'll call a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Town of Orleans to order. My name is Michael P. Monarch. I'm the chair. Also with me tonight are regular members, Ralph Soderstrom, Beth McCartney, and William McCarthy. Associate members, Jerry Mulligan, Peter Jablin, and Bruce Taub are also present. Matthew Cole, the vice chair, is excused. Also present are the board secretary, Sandy Stewart, and the building commissioner of the Town of Orleans, Tom Evers. The agenda calls for two items. There are no new applications to be considered tonight. However, the board will consider an approval of the minutes of its December 2015 meeting, which have been circulated. Are there any corrections or suggestions? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of December 2, 2015.
So moved.
Very well.
Second.
And a second.
Can we do the 30th also while we're?
No, we will not.
You are not again?
Yes, please.
Okay,
It's not on the agenda. I don't think we'll do it.
okay. Not a desk.
I'm not so sure I even seen the draft. Did I see the draft?
I sent them both together.
Well,
I got that to you, didn't
we're going to do December 2. All those in favor of approving the motion to, duly seconded, to approve the minutes of the December 2, 2015 meeting?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. Members of the board, under consideration this evening is the announcement and approval of the findings of fact and the decision in the case number 2010, the application of Ralph H. Arabian. An earlier draft was provided to all the members of the board without discussion. And tonight I have provided an additional draft which reads as follows, following which I'll ask for an approval of the decision. In case number 2010, the application of Ralph H. Arabian, 97 Rock Harbor Road, Orleans, Massachusetts, Zoning Board of Appeals, Book 8008, page 135, map number 16, parcel number 58, Town of Orleans, the decision. The hearing. On September 2, 2015 and December 2, 2015, case number 2010 came on for hearing before the Orleans Zoning Board of Appeals, the board, wherein Ralph H. Arabian applied for a variance as set forth in General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 10, under Orleans Zoning Bylaw, Sections 164-20 and 164-23, to create two new lots of less than 40,000 square feet of buildable upland. The property is located at 97 Rock Harbor Road, Orleans, map number 16, parcel number 58. The September 2, 2015 hearing was duly advertised and scheduled. At the applicant's agent's request on motion and seconded, the applicant was granted a continuance of the hearing to November 4, 2015. On November 1, 2015, the applicant in writing requested a further continuance of the hearing to December 2, 2015, so that a new plan or revisions to the plan filed with the application could be prepared and filed. At a regular meeting of the board on November 4, 2015, the board granted applicant's request for a further continuance to December 2, 2015. The plan of land prepared by East Cape Engineering, Inc., job number 15-0143, dated November 10, 2015, superseded another plan prepared by East Cape Engineering, Inc., and was filed in support of the application immediately before the hearing on December 2, 2015. The second public hearing on December 2015 was again advertised. Mr. Michael P. Marnick, Chairman of the Orleans Zoning Board of Appeals, chaired the hearing. Also in attendance were Mr. Matthew Cole and Ms. D. Beth McCartney, regular board members, and Mr. Bruce Taub, Mr. Peter Jablin, and Mr. Gerald Mulligan, associate board members. Building Commissioner Tom Evers and Ms. Sandra Stewart, secretary to the board, were also present. Present at both hearings and designated by the chairman as voting were the regular members in attendance and associate board members, Mr. Mulligan and Mr. Taub. Attorney Richard Lariah and engineer Timothy Brady presented the details of the application. Mr. Arabian was also present at both hearings. At each hearing, several people appeared in favor of the application. Several letters were received by the town in favor of the application. Following public comment, the chairman closed the hearing for the taking of further testimony. Following public deliberation by the Zoning Board of Appeals, a quorum of qualified members being present and voting, based on the application of Ralph H. Arabian filed with the town clerk on July 10, 2015, the sketch plan prepared by East Cape Engineering, Inc., job number 15-043, dated July 2, 2015, the plan of land prepared by East Cape Engineering, job number 15-043, dated November 10, 2015, and Orleans planning depictions of 1992 and 2014 100-year flood zones relative to 94 Rock Harbor Road, the memorandum of the planning director of the town of Orleans dated August 11, 2015, the oral testimony of individuals at the hearings, and the documents received by the board and contained in the board's file. Mr. Marnick moved that the board adopt the following findings of fact. 1. Notice of hearing in this case was given in the manner and within the time required by law. 2. The subject property, known as 97 Rock Harbor Road, is shown on Orleans map number 16 as parcel number 58 and is in a residential R zoning district and the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic District. 3. The property is owned by Ralph H. Arabian by deed recorded at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. 4. The present use of the property is as a residential dwelling built around 1800. 5. The proposed use of the property is as two non-conforming lots, one lot containing the existing dwelling and one lot on which a second dwelling could be built. 6. The applicant seeks two variances as to lot size. 7. The applicant's current lot is rectangular. The location of the existing dwelling dictates that the proposed dividing lot lines skew in front of the existing dwelling in order to meet frontage requirements, creating two lots of substantially incongruous shape. 8. The applicant's proposed Lot 1 consists of 58,124 square feet, only 7,140 square feet of which is buildable upland. 9. Applicant's proposed Lot 2 consists of 40,169 square feet, only 28,670 of which is buildable upland. 10. Applicant claims that a literal enforcement of the provisions of the zoning bylaw would involve a financial hardship, specifically that the proposed Lot 2 could be sold for a considerable sum, approximately $300,000, and that without the granting of a variance, that opportunity would be lost to the applicant. Orleans zoning bylaw, section 164-43B2A. 11. There was no substantial evidence that the applicant intended to build on Lot 2. Rather, the applicant intended to market and sell Lot 2. 12. Applicant did not establish by substantial evidence that the proposed financial hardship was unique to the property. 13. The loss of a non-conforming use, such as the proposed Lot 2, does not constitute a substantial hardship. 14. The emotional value of the applicant claimed to be her personal hardship concerning maintenance of the existing residence is insufficient to constitute substantial hardship. 15, applicant claims that the hardship is owing to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of the lot, and especially affecting the property. Orleans zoning bylaw, section 164-43B2B. 16, the board finds that many lots in the general area and neighborhood of the property in the Rock Harbor area are affected by the new FEMA flood zone maps. 17, the board finds, and there was substantial evidence, that there are approximately 200 parcels within the town of Orleans which are potentially subdividable, but for the provisions and definitions of Orleans zoning bylaw, section 164-4, which defines buildable upland as land not within the FEMA flood insurance rate maps. 18, the hardship claimed by applicant affects generally the zoning district in which the property is located, and therefore the requirements of Orleans zoning bylaw 164-43B2B have not been met by substantial evidence. 19, the board finds that desirable relief could be granted without substantial detriment to the public good or nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of the zoning bylaw. Orleans zoning bylaw, section 164-43B2C. Applicant has not met all three requirements of Orleans zoning bylaw, section 164-43B2. 21, the variances should be denied. The motion was seconded by Mr. Taub and approved by the board by a vote of 3-2 to 0. Voting in favor of denial, Marnick, McCartney, and Taub. Voting in opposition to denial, Cole and Mulligan. Motion based on the findings of fact, Mr. Marnick moved and Mr. Taub seconded that the board deny the applicant variances pursuant to sections 164-20 and 164-23 of the zoning bylaw to create two new lots of less than 40,000 square feet of buildable upland at 97 Rock Harbor Road. Voting in favor of denial, Mr. Michael P. Marnick, Ms. D. Beth McCartney, and Mr. Bruce Taub. Voting in opposition, Mr. Gerald Mulligan and Mr. Matthew Cole. Dated January 6, 2016. Members of the board, I propose to execute this decision and have it filed forthwith with the town clerk. I'm asking for an approval of the decision as it is. Only obvious or substantial errors would be corrected.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't know if it's substantial, but my recollection of the testimony was that Mr. Arabian was looking to build a second home on that property for himself that was more modern and conducive to someone as they aged, as opposed to a statement here saying it was to be sold.
That's not the finding. Mr. Taub.
I don't know to what extent any of this is important or relevant, but when you were reading this in the first paragraph under the hearing, the first time you cited the East Cape Engineering job lot number 15043, which was referenced further on, I heard you say 143 rather than 043.
It was always, all of the job numbers for East Cape Engineering should have,
No, they all read.
they all are 15-043.
Okay.
If I made a mistake
No.
reading it, then.
In the first sentence of the second paragraph where it says you chaired the hearing, I know that you intend this to refer to the December 2nd hearing, but inasmuch as other hearings were referenced, I just don't know if for clarity's sake you want to say, or you want to let it go. I just want to point it out. All relevant hearings or the December 2nd hearing. You were the chair of all the hearings referenced here. The initial hearing, the continuance hearing.
Then I would consider that to be a mistake, an error. I will change that to hearings, as I was. There's
Okay.
no one was disputing that.
Okay. In number 10, on the second page, could be sold for a considerable sum, comma, approximately $300,000, comma, and that without the granting a variance should either be without, strike the word the, granting a variance, or without the granting, and add the word of a variance, just for,
I accept your wordsmithing. This will now
Dramatic
read without the
clarity.
granting of a variance.
thank you. I had no other
So
editorial comments.
So there was no question about this. There were three requirements. The findings are that two of the requirements have not been met, but the third was.
That should, instead of approximately 300,000, I should be alleged 300,000. We had no justification on the price.
No, we made it, that's the finding.
Okay,
That is the finding.
okay.
Just to follow on what Bruce's last comment, should it be variance in the singular, or since there were two, should it be
No,
variances?
because we're talking about lot two, so it was a variance relative to lot two.
Just a lot
Yeah,
to,
we know there were two variances. Then I'll entertain a motion to,
Sorry. In the section just before the findings, where
Yeah,
you
would I
list
have
the
the wrong year?
documents that were reviewed, it's in, I think the decision says 94 Rock Harbor Road.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's 97 Rock Harbor Road. I had
Yes.
to double check that.
That was a
Okay, that's
typo on
very well.
page,
page two, about the seventh or eighth line down, 97.
right.
That will be corrected. We have three corrections now, members of the board. Otherwise, I'm asking for a motion to approve the decision.
I'll move it. So moved.
Mr. Jablon, is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Then you and I will, subject to those three typographical errors, we will sign the decision. Let the record reflect that the chair is in, I am in possession of a letter from Mr. Lariah dated December 5th, 2016, which was hand-delivered, and I will endorse this, at least my own. I have received today, January 6th, 2016. Don't know the date of the auth. Received at the hearing, January, I'll post this to the, it's a request for copies of certain records. We will file this and refer it to town council.
Mr. Chairman, so may procedural question for the vote on this decision, since I didn't attend either of the two hearings. Should the voting on this decision reflect one abstention? I'm just noting it, since I didn't participate, that I really probably shouldn't vote.
This was relatively ministerial. If you would prefer to abstain, then we will correct the record.
So in order to vote on the decision,
You were not,
Would not
I'm
have-
ruling that you were not excluded from voting tonight.
okay, in that case.
Very well. Members of the board, is there any further business to come before the meeting?
One question, since you
Yes.
refer to this, and since it's addressed to each of us individually, raises the question of whether there's the need for each of us to reply individually. Okay.
Excuse me?
Let,
Okay.
then is, I have not you are in, Mr. McCarthy, you're in possession of a letter from Mr. Lariah also? Is it dated December 5th, 2016?
It is,
Everyone
Just-
has one.
just addressed to me personally as is to you.
Why is it dated December 5th?
I don't know, but I have it,
2016.
I have it,
Oh, must have been intended January.
and this very well.
So should it be January 5th, 2016?
But he's saying the date that he received it, so.
Okay.
It's, I'm logging it in as part of the file and referring it to Mr. Ford. Let the record reflect, however, that each member of the board present this evening was given a similar or identical letter from counsel for Mr. Arabian. Any further business to come before the meeting?
As far as getting the information to Mr. Lariah, town council will do it, or will Sandy?
I'm referring this to town council.
Okay. I mean, I don't have anything that's.
Town council will decide how to treat it.
Okay.
Let the record reflect that all correspondence amongst the members of the, at the meeting of last Wednesday, I made a statement for the record that all email correspondence, there was no correspondence among members of the board, to my knowledge, other than the email correspondence, which will, or has been made part of the file. That is, there were no ex parte communications amongst the members of the board. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Do we not have to vote on the appeal?
Nope.
It's all done?
Oh, let the record reflect that there is Mr. Ford did what we authorized him to do, and has filed an action in the land court.
Okay, I thought we had to vote on that. Nope, okay,
Nope, was done last meeting.
okay.
Very well.
I just asked for clarification. Your reference to emails is for, is correspondence prior to the decision being made? Fine.
Yep, that means you were the author of several emails, which you appropriately copied each member of the board. There may have been some response to you either by the board secretary or
Individual members.
or I don't know, that there may have been some response from individual members. I think I sent you one or two emails, some of which related to scheduling and others related to the questions you were raising. All that's part of the record.
It is indeed part of the record.
Yes, yes. And we had, are you aware of any communications other than the emails which were in writing?
Relative to this case?
Yes.
No.
All right. And let the record reflect, at least for the past couple of weeks, you were out of the country.
That is correct.
And thanks for coming back.
My pleasure.
Very well. Now we'll have a motion to adjourn
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries unanimously.